The mystery of Jack the Ripper solved after 100 years. Who really was Jack the Ripper? This question has fascinated generations of fans and investigators. The identity of the mysterious Whitechapel murderer continues to elude, fueling theories and speculation. Let's explore this time-shrouded enigma, trying to understand who was behind those brutal crimes. In London, at the end of the 19th century, the city was vibrant with life and innovation, but also poverty and inequality. The Whitechapel district was the dark heart of this metropolis, where crime thrived, and the streets were shrouded in a fog of unsolved mysteries. Scotland Yard, the most prestigious investigative body, faced an unprecedented challenge. The investigation was hampered by a lack of hard evidence and a complex social context. Incompetence and media pressure further complicated the efforts to capture the infamous killer. Whitechapel was a patchwork of poverty and desperation, where the most vulnerable struggled to survive. Poor living conditions and rampant crime created a breeding ground for terror. In this context, Jack the Ripper's victims were often marginalized women, easy prey for brutality. Among the prime suspects emerged Montague John Druitt, a lawman with a checkered past. His mysterious death, shortly after the last killing attributed to the killer, raised many questions. Despite the lack of definitive evidence, Druitt remains one of the most controversial suspects in the case. Michael Ostrog, a Russian-born criminal, was known for his many aliases and troubled past. Despite his reputation as a con man and thief, there was no hard evidence directly linking him to the Whitechapel murders, leaving many in doubt as to his guilt as Jack the Ripper. Francis Tumblety, an American physician with an eccentric personality, aroused suspicion for his alleged misogynistic tendencies and his interest in female anatomy. His connections with the victims and his sudden escape from England made him an intriguing suspect but never definitively incriminated. James Maybrick, a cotton merchant from Liverpool, became a suspect mainly because of a diary discovered in the 1990s. This diary, which contained disturbing confessions, was met with skepticism by many historians, who questioned its authenticity and Maybrick's true involvement in the crimes. Hyam Hyams, known for his mental problems, attracted the attention of investigators for his volatile and violent behavior. His history of admissions to psychiatric hospitals and his proximity to the murders raised questions, but no definitive evidence was ever found against him. An intriguing theory posits the involvement of the British royal family in the Jack the Ripper murders. Some suggest that Prince Albert Victor was implicated, perhaps to cover up a scandal. However, the lack of concrete evidence makes this theory fascinating but highly speculative. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber who emigrated to London, became a prime suspect in the Jack the Ripper case. His physical characteristics and unstable behavior made him a subject of interest to the authorities, who linked him to several disturbing events in the Whitechapel neighborhood. With the advent of modern technology, DNA has revolutionized the investigation of unsolved crimes. A shawl belonging to Catherine Eddowes, one of the victims, was analyzed, offering new hope in solving the mystery. The test genetically linked Aaron Kosminski to the crime scene. Advances in DNA have shed new light on cold cases, transforming the way investigators approach evidence. Genetic discoveries have allowed historical evidence to be re-examined, giving voice to details that were once invisible, and reopening seemingly unsolvable investigations. The DNA results pointed to Aaron Kosminski as the likely killer, prompting a mix of relief and skepticism. However, not everyone agrees with this conclusion due to the inherent limitations of the evidence and potential contamination over the years. Despite initial enthusiasm, DNA testing has attracted criticism and doubt. Some experts question the validity of the results, pointing out the possibility of errors in sample collection and storage, and suggesting that the conclusions may be hasty or biased. Conspiracy theories about Jack the Ripper fascinate many, from the possible cover-up by Scotland Yard to hypothetical involvement of Freemasonry. Of all of them, the one involving the royal family seems the most credible, fueling the mystery with hypotheses of scandals and well-kept secrets. New scientific discoveries have challenged many historical theories. DNA analysis has provided concrete clues, countering assumptions based on circumstantial evidence. This confrontation between old and new has enriched the debate, leading to a critical reassessment of what was believed to be established. Scientific discoveries have revolutionized modern investigations, providing advanced tools to solve cold cases. The introduction of DNA has transformed the way evidence is collected and analyzed, allowing investigators to get closer to the truth with previously unthinkable precision. During the early investigations into Jack the Ripper, several errors were made that compromised the collection of evidence. Poor preservation of crime scenes and public pressure contributed to the diversion of the investigation, making it difficult to definitively identify the culprit. The social context of Whitechapel, characterized by poverty and crime, profoundly influenced the investigations. Distrust towards the authorities and the lack of adequate resources complicated the work of the investigators, while the social chaos provided the killer with a perfect environment to act undisturbed. Jack the Ripper's victims were women living on the fringes of society, often forced to sell their bodies to survive. Their stories are a reflection of the harsh reality of Whitechapel, where poverty and desperation made daily life incredibly difficult and dangerous. Jack the Ripper's influence on popular culture has been immense. His mysterious case has inspired countless books, films, and television series. The killer's image has taken on a mythical dimension, perpetuating interest in one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in modern history. The killer's modus operandi was characterized by shocking brutality, leaving his victims brutally mutilated. These acts of extreme violence fueled terror among London residents and convinced many that the perpetrator was a diabolical and ruthless mastermind with an insatiable thirst for blood. Newspapers of the time amplified the panic among the population, reporting gruesome and often sensational details of the murders. The press played a crucial role in increasing public hysteria, helping to spread the legend of Jack the Ripper far beyond the confines of Whitechapel. Letters to police, often signed by Jack the Ripper, have raised questions about their authenticity. While some may have been written by the real killer, others appear to be the work of mythomaniacs or attention-seeking journalists, further complicating the already fraught investigation. Psychological profiling of Jack the Ripper suspects reveals complex and often disturbed personality traits. Many of them showed signs of mental illness or antisocial behavior, making it difficult to identify a single culprit. These characteristics continue to fuel the mystery surrounding the true identity of the killer. Investigative techniques at the time were limited and often relied on unreliable testimony and circumstantial evidence. Investigators did not have modern technology, such as DNA, to confirm suspicions. This made the investigation fragmented and allowed Jack the Ripper to evade justice, keeping the mystery alive. Public opinion played a crucial role in the investigation of Jack the Ripper. Media pressure and widespread panic often distorted investigators' perceptions, influencing their decisions. This climate of fear led to hasty conclusions and further complicated the task of catching the killer. Living in Whitechapel during the Jack the Ripper era was an experience of constant danger and fear. The area, already plagued by poverty and crime, became the center of a series of brutal murders. Residents found themselves struggling to survive in an unforgiving environment. The various suspects in the Jack the Ripper case had significant differences in motives. Some were driven by mental illness, others by personal grudges or twisted ideologies. This variety makes it difficult to determine who had the strongest motive to commit such heinous acts, further complicating the case. Modern technology has revolutionized cold case solving, allowing investigators to re-examine old evidence with advanced tools. DNA analysis, facial recognition software, and digital databases offer new possibilities for unraveling unsolved mysteries like Jack the Ripper. Modern theories about Jack the Ripper are often criticized. Some are considered too fanciful or based on insufficient evidence. Skeptics question the validity of new discoveries, stressing the importance of a rigorous and scientific approach to investigations. The myth of Jack the Ripper continues to fascinate. fueled by books and films. His figure has become a symbol of unsolved mystery, stimulating the curiosity of generations. The intrigue and horror associated with the case keep the interest of audiences alive around the world. There are significant differences between confirmed and suspected cases associated with Jack the Ripper. Historians and investigators focus on confirmed victims to build a profile of the killer. However, uncertainty about other murders further complicates the search for truth. Scotland Yard's role in the Jack the Ripper investigation was marked by innovation and failure. Despite the introduction of new investigative techniques, public pressure and inexperience hampered efforts, leaving the mystery unsolved and frustrating the authorities. The Jack the Ripper case had a profound impact on the detective profession, pushing investigators to explore new techniques and methods. Frustration and the inability to solve the mystery led to an increased focus on the importance of evidence collection and analysis. The mystery of Jack the Ripper has profoundly influenced the literary and cinematic world, inspiring countless works of fiction, films, and documentaries. His figure has become an emblem of evil and unsolvable enigma, fueling the imagination of artists and writers globally. Jack the Ripper-themed tours continue to attract the curious and enthusiasts, offering a journey through time through the streets of Whitechapel. These tours allow you to explore the places linked to the mystery, keeping alive the atmosphere and charm of a bygone era. The enduring appeal of the Jack the Ripper mystery lies in its unsolved nature, which stimulates people's curiosity and imagination. The combination of an intriguing historical context and a criminal enigma has ensured that the case remains a topic of constant interest. What do you think? Who was Jack the Ripper? Share your theory and join the discussion about one of history's most enduring mysteries. Your ideas could contribute new perspectives on a puzzle that continues to challenge investigators and enthusiasts around the world.